So welcome. Welcome to this introduction course of From Dreams to Reality. I'm really excited to have you all here with me, especially now that everything is working and Zoom is working and everything here, all the tech stuff seems to be fine. So basically what I wanted to share with you was this idea of accompanying a group of people in reading The Artist Way. Okay, so there's a saying from Henry Ford that says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, okay? So what do you think? And when you realize how powerful your thoughts are, well, maybe you should think you can do it, yes? So this journey, we're going to start realizing what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and this is what we're going to start going into every time more. So, dreams without action are just an illusion. And so many of us have dreams or projects that we want to do, and we start and then we never finish it. And then we have another project. And for one reason or another, we don't finish things and they stay in an illusion. But now we're going to put action, and these dreams are going to become a reality, right? So during the day, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts. Now there are a lot of thoughts, okay? But from these thoughts, 90% are the same as yesterday, and 90% will be the same as tomorrow. So if we want a change, well, we have to start with our thoughts. Otherwise, every day will be the same, okay? So when we start going into our thoughts, we start realizing that it's just us with our own thoughts, saying, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm here suffering for imaginary things. And with our thoughts, we can go on and on thinking the same thing, the same thought, and we can repeat it 1,000 times, that same thought, okay? So now it's starting to thinking what you're thinking, what you want to think, and how you want to create your reality. So we're going to start learning more about ourselves through our thoughts, through our emotions. So many times something is going to happen and we think, okay, if this person says this, and then I'll say that. Then if this happens, I'll do that. And then if this happens, I'll do that. And you're thinking of all the possible things that could happen and the possible replies you could give, and it's exhausting. But there's an infinite. You could never possibly think of all the possible things that could happen, right? And then of all the things you worry about, the things that can happen are smaller, and the things that really do happen are just minute, right? So much time is gone in thinking things that are never going to happen, right? I would say 90% of the time, your thoughts are things that you worry about, things which are not going to happen, yeah? So a thought, yes, comes and says, you can't pass by. So if you realize it's a thought, it's just a thought. So you blow it away. It was just a thought. And this is what we're going to learn. We're going to realize which thoughts are causing blockages as we go along. Okay, so we'll be working with this book of The Artist Way. So you're already here. So you obviously have already downloaded Zoom, or you have it on your computer, right? There's another app called Kajabi. You can have it on your phone, or you can enter through your computer. And in Kajabi are going to be all the recordings of our weekly sessions, okay? So every Sunday we'll start at 10 a.m., right, with the stars and Zoom on our favor. And we will be recording 12 weeks of sessions. This is the introduction, so it's introduction plus 12 weeks. The talk will last 30 minutes, and at the end we'll have questions and answers. And what I realize is that I don't really get many questions and answers because I work on it on an individual basis, because this is your project and I prefer working it one-to-one. The Kajabi app, or the Kajabi space where this course is going to be, I uploaded 4 meditations, okay? So there are 4 meditations, and this course also includes 2 30-minute individual sessions with me. Because during the course, things pop up. Emotions pop up, angers pop up, you remember things, and suddenly something will make you want to cry, or you'll be angry. So I'm always here to support you during this course. So the book, we'll be talking about the book of The Artist Way, and I'll be adding a bit more information about the mind, the subconscious mind. And also I'm opening a Facebook private page where I'll be sending you information, reminding you of your morning pages, reminding you of things you'll be doing as we go along. At first, I'm going to be writing a lot in Facebook until you get the rhythm, and then each time will be a bit less. Okay, so the Kajabi. What is Kajabi? So many of us are not that tech, right? Kajabi, you can have it either on your phone, or you can enter through your computer. When you registered to join the course, you received an email which gives you access to enter your course, okay? So you will have, here it says introduction, okay? So there will be the video of this course now, you'll find that video. Then the requirements to start the course, yes? Here, a bit about me, and I can see that it's still, this one is in Spanish, I'll be translating it, yeah? So, and also I recommend books. Now, we're working just on the artist way, okay? However, as we go along, I'll be talking about other books, which I find interesting. And I will always write the books here. If I have the book of PDF, I'll send it to you. I'll put it here. And if not, I'll just have the title of the book and the author. But you can always come to books for reference of the books that I'm recommending. These are the 4 meditations. They're my meditations. And you can use them whenever you want. They're included in this package. And there's one meditation to relax. If you can't sleep at night, if you're a bit nervous, well, just listen to the relaxation. If you're feeling depressed, well, I have one bye-bye meditation. There's another one of loving yourself and another one of reaching goals, okay? So they're there, you can listen to them whenever you want to, they're all yours. So another thing in Kajabi, so you'll see introduction and you'll see later on uploaded the video of today. Then after week 1, here will be the video. So if you can't make it Sunday in the morning, right? Well, you can always come back later and see the recording, okay? So we will be working week 1, we're recovering a sense of safety. Then we're going to be recovering a sense of identity, a sense of power, a sense of integrity, a sense of possibility. This is so beautiful, it's possible, it can happen. Then we're going to recovering a sense of abundance, a sense of connection, recovering a sense of strength, recovering a sense of compassion, recovering a sense of self-protection, of self-autonomy, and of faith. This is such a beautiful journey to get to know yourself. You start going within and you start realizing all this mental garbage that we have within us. And it's a beautiful book because you're going to start to know yourself and to love yourself, right? So I read this book 15 years ago. At that time, I was trying to write a book. I had been trying to do it for 5 years, and a little bit here and a little bit there. I didn't really have anything. It was just, I wasn't even, I don't know, I kept on saying, oh, I'm writing a book, but I didn't really have anything, just a bit written here and a bit written there. So somebody told me, look, come and just read The Artist Way and you'll finish it. So I did. I read the book, and by chapter 10, my book was already ready for printing. Yeah? So this course works. It takes away blockages, and you don't even need to understand anything. As you read, it just says, do these exercises. You do those exercises, right? And it works. You don't need to understand anything. You just do the exercises that the book asks you for. So they're going to be 12 chapters, which are 12 weeks. You're going to read each week, yeah, one chapter. You can't go to the next chapter. Every day in the morning, you're going to write 3 morning pages. You're going to do the exercises at the end of the page, and you're going to have an artist date. I'll talk a bit more about this further ahead. So I want you to buy the ebook, the audiobook, the English book, or the Spanish book, okay? It doesn't matter which language you read it in. You can read it in German if you want to, in Dutch, any language you prefer. And you do the exercise in any language you want. You write your pages in any language, bilingual, trilingual, whatever comes out as you write. And I want you to buy 2 notebooks. This is my suggestion, right? Because I suggest that you have one book, right, for your morning pages, right, where you write your 3 pages, and then another book for the exercises. Why do I suggest 2? Because before I had 1, so I'd write my morning pages, then I'd do the exercises, then I'd do morning pages, and then when I wanted to go back to the exercises, well, they got a bit lost in between those 3 morning pages, so I decided to do it separately, and I found it much easier, yes, to realize. Because when you start doing the exercise, you start noticing the changes as you go along, okay? So, as I said at the beginning, this journey, it's a beautiful journey to start going within. And when you start loving yourself, remembering, the changes start happening immediately. I get all these WhatsApps from people, taking the other course. I was saying, Carmen, you're not going to believe this. I've already felt this. And this is going to happen to you as well, because the book just works. Yes, it's such a beautiful book. All right, so this is an ideal week. Okay, this is what you're going to do. So Sunday, 10 a.m., we're going to have our talk. You can't see it, doesn't matter. You watch the video afterwards. You have Sunday and Monday to read the week, right? To read the chapter of the week we're working on. Then every morning, this is every day, you write 3 morning pages, okay? Now, sometimes there's a lot of resistance to writing these 3 morning pages, and you wake up and, oh, I feel so lazy, I don't feel like doing it. But the morning pages are so magical that even when you finish the course, you're going to want to continue writing them. And as we go along, I'll give you more information of all, the morning pages and other things. At the end of each chapter, there's some exercises. Okay, so you do the exercises and you have all the week to do the exercises. Now, please, don't leave everything for Saturday night. Oh, I've got the call with Carmen tomorrow. Oh, and I still have 5 exercises and to do them quickly. No, I would really like you to start on Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest, to work on the exercises. Because what happens, suddenly it will say, write 20 things you like doing. And you're thinking, maybe with difficulty you write 5. And then the next day, oh yeah, you can think of 10. And then by the 3rd day, you could write 30. So certain exercises, there's a blockage and there's a resistance to do it. And they might seem silly things like write a letter to the editor saying you're sorry. Just do the exercises, right? And the ones that give you more resistance to doing them, those are the most important ones, right? And then she also talks about this artist date. Once a week, yes, between Tuesday and Saturday or whenever you want, during the week, you have an artist date, which is a date with yourself. This may seem a bit strange. Sometimes there's a lot of resistance to this date. But basically, if you were to invite me for coffee to your house, well, what would you do? Well, maybe you'd tidy up a bit. Maybe you'd get out your favorite mugs. Maybe you'd go and buy some special biscuits or make something special, yeah? But you'd make me coming and having that coffee special, okay? So what you're going to do is do it, but for yourself, yes? So if you like having, if you have a tub and you like having, a bath, going into the tub, you can put candles, you can put bubbles, you can put music. Maybe you could dance, maybe you could sing, but it's like an appointment for you, but treating yourself as you treat other people. And it's learning to treat yourself this way. And this is so beautiful. And it starts changing the way we vibrate, yes, and the way we start perceiving things. I'm also going to do a private Facebook group, yes. And at first I'm going to be posting lots of things, but then later it will be less and less. It's just so you get into the rhythm of writing these morning pages, okay? So, who is this course for? Like, what kind of project? Yeah, well, maybe I'm not an artist. Maybe I'm a housewife. Maybe I'm a businessman. It doesn't matter. We all have dreams, like seeds, yes? And this dream, maybe you want to do an exhibition. Maybe you want to write a song. Maybe you want to study something or write a book or lose weight or do exercise or, start a new business or reinvent yourself, yeah? But we all have something there, the secret, this dream that for one reason or another hasn't been done or hasn't been finished, or it's nearly done, but it's not finished, right? So this book is for everybody, right? And even if you don't know what you want to do yet, it will start flowing as you go along with the book, okay? And especially now with what's going on, so many people have lost their jobs. There's so many changes. It's time to reinvent ourselves. It's time to allow this creativity within us to come out, okay? So creativity is like energy, and it wants to express itself through you. And this concept, for me, everything is energy, right? And this concept of creativity as an energy is explained really well in this book of Big Magic. As we go along, I'm going to be recommending books. You don't need to read them if you want to. In the area of Kajabi where it says books, you'll see the name, the title. If I have the PDF will be there. And if not, if you want to, you can buy it. Yeah. And they're books which I find interesting and which can give you more support in the project you're doing. But you only have to read The Artist Way. All these are just optional things as you go along, right? So Elizabeth Gilbert, she wrote this book of Eat, Pray and Love, which I'm sure you've all heard or seen the film. And she talks about how an idea, a project has an energy, right? And how she shares her own personal experience. She had this idea, but for one thing or another, time went by and she never got it done. And then someone else, a very close friend of her, did exactly that idea, but she hadn't shared it. So she understood it's an idea. And if it's not going to come out through you, it's going to come out through somebody else. So do it, okay? So this energy has to express itself. So get it done, right? Yes, I know, and I love that book too. And Dasha as well. It's a beautiful book, and I really recommend it to all of you. And here she goes, creative living beyond fear, right? Fear. Okay. So I've always thought that, when there's fear, it's like a white curtain that comes in front of you. And it stops you and you freeze and you don't know what to do. And as if you can't think, you don't know what decision to do or what to make or where to go from there, right? And as a school teacher, when my students had an exam, I would give them a gummy. We have these bear gummies. I don't know if you have them in other places in the world, but here in Mexico, we've got these gummies. So I'd give them all one before the exam, and I'd say, there's not any gummy. This one's magical. It has all the answers to your exam, okay? So if we have the thought or emotion of fear, we go white, okay? So we have to notice and use techniques to overcome our fears, to realize what we're thinking. Now, you don't have to have a gummy all the time, but we have to go within to see what it is that is causing these fears, these blockages. There's someone else that I'll be talking a lot about who is Anita Morjani. Later on, I'll be telling you about her book. She had a near-death experience, and she wrote a book called Dying to Be Me. And one of the things she says, which for me was so powerful, is to live life fearlessly. Wow. We always seem to be afraid of so many things. We're afraid of microwave. We're afraid of so many things. So just by realizing them, we start working on them, right? So we're going to start realizing these thoughts, these fears as we go along during the book. During each week, it takes us by the hand and gradually we go advancing, okay? One very important thing, don't judge your work or yourself. We tend to be like our worst judges and we say like these really horrible things to ourselves, yes? So rule number one, do not judge what you do or judge yourself. Just keep going. And later on you can fix it, you can modify it, but keep going, okay? It's as if there's this hummingbird in a beautiful cage and we're going to let this creativity, this project fly. We're going to give it permission to fly. And it's not fair to have a hummingbird in a cage. It's not fair to have your idea in a cage. We have to let it fly, yes? So Julia Cameron in her book, she talks a lot about God. You could call God universal energy, divine source, however you resonate with this. And it's going to work through you. Now, maybe this concept is a bit difficult. I mean, how come is God or universal energy or divine source going to work through me, right? So Puccini said that when he wrote Madame Butterfly, that he just wrote what God told him to write. He just sat down and wrote it, yeah? And when you hear about Michelangelo, they also said that he said, they said, how did you do it so perfect? You look at it, it's absolutely perfect. And do you know what it is? Can you imagine for a moment to work on not only stone, but marble, right? If you chip off the elbow, you've chipped off the elbow, yeah? You can't come and put some glue on or anything, yeah? So he said that the piece was inside the marble, and all he did was to take off the excess. Okay. So if you see his work, which is his unfinished work, I mean, you can see what he felt. Look at the one here to the right. I mean, you really want this poor guy to come out. I mean, he's there in the stone, and you want him to get the hand come out, and his head and his shoulder and the leg and the foot. And this is how all of you have these ideas, and they're in you. And we have to take off all these fears, take off all these things to let them come out. And now is a time of change. It's a time to reinvent ourselves, right? And there's so many projects that can help so many people. And so many are just in a drawer or not finished, okay? So I just loved seeing his unfinished work. It's so meaningful, yes, how it's there, right? So she talks a lot about God, universal energy, divine source. And even if you're an atheist or an agnostic, just allow yourself to believe in an energy, yes? I see everything as energy, as vibration, okay? So if in front of you, you have 5 glasses of wine, and you sing, let's say that the first one is do, then re, mi, fa, so, yeah? So if you sing do, which glass resonates with you? Well, do. And if you sing in re, re, right? According to how you sing, how you vibrate is what happens around you, is what you resonate with, okay? So if the first glass of wine is a loving relationship, the second one is one of conflict, the third one is one of boredom, the fourth one is infidelity, yeah? So if you vibrate in do, well, that's the glass that's going to resonate with you, right? So this is the way we are in life, and we need to feel that worthy of achieving these things, worthy of loving ourselves. And during this process, our vibration will be changing, like from AM to FM, and you're going to start learning to love yourself. You'll be connecting to so many nice memories, but also there'll be memories that will hurt, and they're also going to come out. Okay, so just remember, when anything pops up, just let me know. So what Julia says in the book is, through the mere practice of writing and playing, there will be changes. So you don't need to believe in God, in energy, you can be an atheist, it doesn't matter. Just doing this, there are changes. Many things start happening, and there will be an opening whether you believe it or not. You start creating this change in consciousness, and then synchronicities start beginning. And I love this, because now you're going to think, oh, what kind of synchronicity? But in a week or two, you'll already be writing to me, Carmen, you're not going to believe this. I'm thinking of doing this, and somebody called me, and then this happened, and that happened. It's just so beautiful, all these synchronicities that start happening. So she says to have faith that when you leap, the net will appear. And this creative energy that we're talking about, the force that through the green fuse drives the flower. So that green plant turns into a flower, and there's this beautiful energy that makes it happen. And something else that's very beautiful that she says is to get out of the way and let that vital energy express itself through me. Yeah. And it seems funny, like, how do I get out of the way? Well, yes, because the 5% of your conscious mind, which I'll be explaining more later as we go along, you're trying to solve everything with that 5%. When there's so many more possibilities of things that can happen. So by getting out of the way, you allow infinite possibilities to happen. Because with what you know, only certain things can happen. But by letting go, which is what you'll be learning as we go along, you're going to let that flow through you. So for the moment, just write your 3 pages in the morning. Don't judge yourself, just follow the pattern, okay? So you're going to start clearing channels, and creativity will start emerging easier, right? In Mexico, we have jacarandas, right? You don't have them all over the world. And jacarandas tend to flower end of February, March, April. And I love them, right? It's my favorite tree. That's why I put that image. So I want to read this poem of Jorge Bucay, Dreams of Seeds. Within us, countless dreams wait for their time to germinate, produce roots, and give birth, die like seeds to become trees. In the silence of my reflection, I perceive my entire inner world as if it were a seed, somehow small and insignificant, but also full of potentialities. And I see in its essence the potential of a magnificent tree, the tree of my own life and development. In its smallness, each seed contains the spirit of the tree that it will be later. Every seed knows how to become a tree, falling on fertile ground, absorbing the juices that feed it, expanding its branches and foliage, filling with flowers and fruits to be able to give what they have to give. Every seed knows how to become a tree. And so many are the seeds, as are secret dreams. Within us, countless dreams wait for their time to germinate, produce roots and give birth, die like seeds to become trees. Magnificent and proud trees that in turn tell us in their firmness that we listen to our inner voice, that we listen to the wisdom of our own seed dreams. They, the dreams, show the way with symbols and signs of all kinds. In every event, in every moment, between things and between people, in pain and in pleasure, in triumph and in failures, the dreams teach us, asleep or awake, to see ourselves, to listen to ourselves, to realize, shows us the way in elusive intuitions or in flashes of blinding lucidity. And so as we grow, we develop, we evolve. And one day, while we travel this eternal present that we call life, the seeds of our dreams will transform into trees. And they will unfold their branches that, like gigantic wings, will cross the sky, joining in a single stroke our past and our future. There is nothing to fear. And inner wisdom accompanies them because every seed knows how to become a tree. That's really beautiful, isn't it? I really love Jorge Bucay. He's got many like short stories and poems. So many of us are in a comfort zone, in an uncomfortable comfort zone, right? So to be able to go where the magic happens, we need the sense of security. So this week we'll be working on recovering a sense of security. We have many fears. We want to control things. We want things to be perfect. We have fear of the future. And sometimes if you stop, turn around and look at what you have for not having what you wanted, and you'll be quite surprised, yes, to realize how you've grown, how many things you've achieved. But now we're going to focus on an idea. Maybe you have the idea, maybe you don't have the idea. There's no rush, it will start developing as we go along. So first of all, get the book, The Artist Way. I want you to buy 2 notebooks. One notebook is going to be for your morning pages, and the other notebook is going to be for the exercises. So the first thing I want you to do, well, is to read Introduction and Week 1. So this week, there's going to be more reading than other weeks because you have an introduction to read, okay? But the other weeks is going to be much shorter. It's just going to be the corresponding week. In the introduction in week 1, you will find a contract, which is this one, okay? So you can write it out by hand. You don't need to print it. I printed it, but you can write it out by hand and you put your name and you understand that I am undertaking an intensive guided encounter. And what it does, I want you to fill it in, write your name and sign it and put the date. Why? Because at a subconscious level, you're committing to do this course. And by signing it, I mean, you're signing it to yourself. It helps you continue with this project, okay? So every morning you're going to write 3 pages. You're going to write them as soon as you wake up in the morning. Next Sunday, I'll give you more information why it's important to do it first thing in the morning. But you write whatever. It doesn't have to be nice handwriting. It's just the first thing that comes to your mind. And, oh, I'm so sleepy. I don't know what time I decided to do these 3 pages. I don't feel like, oh, I'm going to go to the supermarket. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm so angry because so-and-so said this. And you start getting out all this mental garbage that you repeat to yourself so many times a day. And you'll start feeling fresher and lighter, and you're having more time to have this creativity allow itself to come in when you get out all those other thoughts which are occupying space in your mind that we don't need anymore. Okay? At the end of each chapter, there's some exercises. I want you to do the exercise. Please don't leave them until Sunday night. Do your exercises and do them consciously, like really go into them. Even if they're like silly questions that they ask for, just do it. And the ones you have more resistance to, that's the one you really have to do, okay? Because there's something there that you don't realize which is causing the blockage. That's why your subconscious mind is avoiding you to do it. So do it. And your artist date, okay? So you're going to have just one artist date a week. I mean, you can have more, but at least one. Okay, start thinking of your goal. If you don't have it, it doesn't matter. As we go along, it will come through. But what I do want to ask you is don't share your project with anybody. Okay, so let's suppose you have an idea. I'm going to do a holographic circus. I'm going to invite people, and everything's going to be like a holograph with the animals and all that. And you have this wonderful project, and you're so enthusiastic with this idea. So you tell someone, I go, oh, that's not a good idea. We're going to get the money to do that. That's so complicated. So what happens is that your enthusiasm for that project goes, down a bit. And you share with someone else and, down a bit. So I want you to keep your original enthusiasm for your project without anybody judging it, okay? So I want to share this fable of a donkey, okay? So there was this old man and he had a donkey. Right, so he wanted to sell the donkey in the market. And he goes, okay, look, tells his grandson, okay, let's carry the donkey. And like that, when we get to the market, our donkey's going to be like really fresh. And they're going to pay us so much money for our donkey. So they were carrying the donkey towards the market. And as they went walking along, people looked at them and they said, they're crazy. Like, why on earth are they carrying a donkey? That's so silly. They go, oh, yeah, that's right. So they let the donkey down and the donkey was walking. And then further ahead, people said, I mean, that poor old man, he's so old, walking to the market. He could perfectly sit on top of the donkey. So there he is sitting on the donkey. And then further ahead, and that man, he just thinks of himself. He's so egoistic. And that poor little boy walking on himself. So they both go on the donkey. And further ahead, that poor donkey, both on top. So the truth is, whatever you do, there's always going to be someone who's going to criticize you. So if you want to carry a donkey to the market, carry it, okay? Always be you, yes? Don't change just to please someone else. Follow that idea, that project you had, no matter how silly it might seem. Keep the energy of it and let's get it done, okay? So you're going to do, these are the instructions, right, for next week. You're going to read the introduction and week 1. So first of all, get the book, The Artist Way. Then, buy your 2 notebooks. I mean, you can do it in one if you want to. I just suggest 2 notebooks. You're going to read the introduction and week 1. You're going to do the contract, which I told you, yes, to write it in at the very beginning. Every morning, you're going to write 3 pages. As I told you, when you finish, you're going to continue wanting to write those 3 pages. You're going to do the exercises at the end of the chapter. Do all of them. The ones that cause more resistance are the most important ones. You're going to have a date with your artist. Start thinking of a goal. Don't share it. Do not go to the next chapter. And print the basic principles and the creative affirmations. Okay? If you have a friend or anybody else who could do with a project or need to reinvent their lives as well with everything that's going on, please share. I will upload this video into YouTube. If you're interested in taking this course, please register. You can enter my website. And as soon as you enter, you'll see the course there, and there you can enter. So with this is the recording I will upload. So I'm just going to stop the recording now. Okay.